ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Or, hey there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to tell you, Happy Christmas in July. Ho, 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 ho. Now, hang on a second there, Santa Claus. Hang on. Oh, hey, everybody. Anyway, what are you doing here in July? I mean, Christmas is not until December. Why, I heard about that there is Christmas in July, so therefore I thought I should show up in July. Eh? No, Santa Claus. Christmas in July, it's what the store says. When they have this special sale in July, they call it Christmas in July. I'm surprised you didn't even know that. And right now, the only holiday we have here in July is the 4th of July, the celebration of our independence ever since the Revolutionary War. And I only blame it from King George III. If he hasn't pushed us and trying to make us Americans part of the British Empire, we wouldn't have the Revolutionary. But we're independent. So, actually, Santa, I'm grateful that you show up in July, but it's time for me to do the review, something I want to review in July ever since I announced it on my Christmas special. Oh, I see. Well, it just feels good to be out here during July. I usually just show up on Christmas, but at once it feels pretty good being out in July. So, thank you very much, Mr. Multi-Voice Reviewer. I'm be off. I'll see myself out. Well, I still do appreciate showing up at my show, especially when you showed up on my Christmas Carol special. It means a lot for you to show up. Oh, by the way, Santa, am I still on your list? Yes, I know what you want for Christmas. You're covered. You're in the nice list. And I know what you want. You want the PlayStation 4 and a couple of graphic novels that you had in mind. I know you always want that graphic novel of I, Vampire, the original, not the New 52, and you also like to have the graphic novel of Star Trek Next Generation meet Dr. Who, Assimilation 3. I get it. Well, you are definitely covered. And as for you kitties, see you Christmas. Oh, 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 oh. Why, thank you, Santa. What? Ever since I have Santa Claus showed up on my show, I had to be on his good side so he'll give me what I want for Christmas. It's sort of a deal I made with him. Pretty much the same deal I have with Dracula and Mr. Death. Anyway, folks, I know today is not the 4th of July, it's been passed, but I decided to do this review anyway. Now, as you heard from Santa Claus, and some of you did remember what I mentioned in, on Multi-Voice Reviewer's Christmas Carol, this is it, folks. I'm here to review An American Carol. Now, this is a good movie. It's pretty interesting and hilarious. And believe it or not, it was created by David Zucker. One of the Zucker Brothers. The one who made Airplanes, Naked Gun, and Scary Movie 3 and 4. Now, unlike Christmas, here's one thing about Christmas I'll tell you about. Christmas Carol, it's about Scrooge who is being mean and hateful and sinister. And a lot of people think that the only way he's getting haunted by the ghosts is to appreciate Christmas. That's not exactly it. It teaches you to be nice and kind and be appreciated to other people. Well, this one has a different effect about our country here in America. So, An American Carol was made. Now, this movie was made way back in 2008. So, and some of you and some of you who have seen my review of My Fellow American, I'm a Republican and conservative. And I always support the military troops. And that's all you need to know. Anyway, but this movie is a really, really good movie. And what it has here is starring Kevin Farley. Kevin Farley is playing this character named Michael Malloy, and he's supposed to be making fun of this one documentary filmmaker that pretty much I really, really hate. And his name is Moore. Michael Moore. I hate that fat slob. And what he does is he makes these documentary movies trying to make America look bad. So therefore he decided to make a brand new documentary and also trying to abolish the 4th of July. The 4th of July is the holiday that we all celebrate our independence of our country. If we haven't won the Revolutionary War, we wouldn't be appreciated being American. And this is what this movie is all about. It teaches us to be appreciated that we're in a country that is a land of tolerance and peace. Now, there are some states that are... There are certain states that are pretty dangerous, so I wouldn't recommend all the states, like Detroit, California, and also Miami. Just city areas. But anyway, Michael Malloy here. Now, Kevin Farley, who is actually the brother of Chris Farley, one of the greatest comedians that we all knew and love, he's not the most physical, hilarious comedian, but he's still good. He's pretty good. And him hating America so much, I mean, this is what he says. He says, I love America. That's why it needs to be destroyed. I love Batman, but I don't want to kill the creator who created him. So, all of a sudden he gets a visit from the ghost of JFK, John F. Kennedy. And he says, my fellow Americans, Michael Malloy, you don't appreciate what America stood for. So therefore, I'm going to teach you to be right with America. You're going to be haunted by the ghosts of the Americans. By American ghosts. So they'll teach you the right way to appreciate America. Yeah, I know, I do a good Kennedy. I mean, it's like what JFK says. It is not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. Anyway, after he woke up, he thought it was a dream, but he's still trying to protest against the 4th of July. Of course, that's one thing about protesters. They're just a bunch of people who only protest over something they have no idea what they're protesting against. They're just there. Anyway, as he was about ready to talk about how bad America is, we have Kelsey Grammer showing up. And Kelsey Grammer is playing a general called General S. Patton. If some of you heard their history in World War II, he was one of the greatest generals in our history. You magnificent buzzard, I read your book! I know, that was George C. Scott, but that's close enough to a Patton impression I can do. Alright, for those of you who are die-hard fans of Patton, you magnificent bastard, I read your book! Anyway, meanwhile, there's a group of Arab Arab terrorist who's trying to destroy America. And we have this bad guy here, which we've seen in so many movies. He's trying to bomb this country concert, starring one of the greatest American country singers, Trey Akins. And I'll get to him later. Anyway, Kelsey Grammer, who plays General S. Patton, he picks up Malloy and shows him his past. Turns out he was just a little kid who didn't join the war. He was protesting it and go to film school. And what it turns out, that the love of his life, the girl he loved, she fell in love with a soldier. You know, it is pretty true. Girls dig guys in uniforms. Why do you think I always wear this army shirt? And I never joined the army. I mean, I wish I did, but I had a sick grandma to take care of. Anyway. Anyway. Throughout his history, General S. Patton took him to the present time. I mean, he showed him the protesters back in World War II, where everybody were protesting against Roosevelt. And I'm not talking about Teddy Roosevelt, but Franklin Roosevelt. And of course, he showed him what would happen if America didn't pitch in and help during the war. Chamberlain would have been polishing Adolf Hitler, Mussolini, and Hirohito's shoes. And of course, Patton shows Malloy the statue of one of our greatest forefathers, Abraham Lincoln. If he didn't set freedom from the slaves, then America wouldn't stand for the land of tolerance. And of course, Malloy just said, "Ever heard that there's a rumor about Abe Lincoln being gay?" You know, I would have kicked his butt for saying things like that. And if you ever read his history book of Abe Lincoln, and I'm not talking about Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter. I'll talk about that later with Dracula. But anyway, Abraham Lincoln, he really loved Mary Todd very much. Even though he was no charmer, and of course, Mary wasn't no Jessica Alba, but there was something about her that he was attracted to. And of course, he tried to stay with her, and even though she finds him to be a little arrogant, but she came around and finally fell in love with him. And that's the true story about Abe Lincoln. Anyway, and of course, Patton showed him the present day what happened if Abe Lincoln didn't free the slaves. Malloy would have a bunch of black slaves in his area, and of course some mixed children as well. And you also would see most of the black comedians who made their appearance in that scene, which was pretty funny. Especially the one from Different Strokes who says, "Don't worry, Milo, we got that bacon stains out of the console." And now they're showing him Afghanistan, where the troops are battling against the terrorists. And Malloy was complaining that they were all blindfolded. And he said, "They're the enemy." And he said, "Until proven innocent." And he said, "Well, if one of them shows up to you and shoot you right in the chest, how would you react from that?" Anyway. And also, Patton showed Malloy what college is. And it turns out not all college ain't exactly guarantee to give you a good grade, because it turns out that there's a bunch of college professors who keeps dancing and singing, dressing like it's the 60s, and start singing about 1968, how much of a hippie they are. Because I heard that most colleges, college professors always teach young teenagers who apply in college to don't listen to the troops, just listen what they're telling you, trying to brainwash you. Thank goodness I never been to college. I never went to college. I mean, there were times I wish I would for a good career in life, but there are some things in college that I don't think I should be accepted in anyway. "1968. And then all of a sudden, there is the bad... to make a long story short, Trey Akins here showed up as the American ghost of future. He says, "I'm the angel of freaking death, stupid." And he shows him the future, what America's going to be like in the future. Pretty much most of the Arabs would took over Hollywood, and now burqas are the fashion, like you see here. And of course, Detroit will be a whole lot worse, among with other states. And of course, Malloy sees his future. Turns out that that he died from a nuclear bomb, and all that's left was his big fat butt and that cap on his head. And all the medical morgue people were making fun of his big fat butt. And of course, it turns out Malloy discovered that that he needs to stop the terrorists and change his life, and also support his nephew, who joined the Navy because he joined the Navy because it's wartime. And he decided to take care of his kids, and they're all kids. Some of them are on oxygen machines, some of them are cross-eyed, some of them have bad legs. And of course, Leslie Nielsen, he's in this movie. He plays an old man who's telling the kids the story. So, after he warned everybody that there's a bomb by that one terrorist, two of his Arab terrorists who tries to help him decided to switch sides because they start seeing the beauty side in America, and decided to help Malloy stop the bomb. And of course, you have Trey Akins singing, "America's greatest country in the whole wide world, with fast cars, the prettiest girls." You ain't wrong there. I've seen a lot of girls who are really pretty. And the cars are really fast. Although, honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not one into country. I mean, I don't find country music interesting. I prefer easy listening songs from mid-80s, early 90s. But anyway, when he finally helped people, when he finally did the right thing, he saw the spirits of all the dead soldiers throughout history who have died protecting our country. God bless America. Anyway, now Malloy lives his entire life as a historical documentarist. Right now he's making a movie about JFK, and he has his little nephew named Tiny Timmy, who gives him some advice. All in all, this is a good movie to let us think about America and the way it is. Despite all the arguments and such and all that baloney I've been hearing so much. Hey, what's this? God bless America. Well, this is my review for today of American Carol. So, for those of you who really like this review, please leave a comment down below, hit like, and subscribe for more reviews. And, God bless America, and thank you for watching. But don't worry, my next review ain't gonna be something patriotic this time, because this is the one I wanted to talk about for the 4th of July. Well, late 4th of July, but still. My next one, Dracula's gonna show up, and he's gonna review a franchise, which actually he's gonna talk about a parody of a certain franchise he hates so much, and he'll talk about the franchise itself. So, stay tuned, and check out the movie. It's really, really good.